The Lord has commanded me to deliver this urgent message to you. The enemy is trying to deceive you, and God wants to protect you. Open your eyes now. The money promised to you, which bears the mark of heaven, is waiting for you today. If you close this video, you will seal your own loss, and this $1 trillion blessing will dissolve like dew in the sun. The urgent divine summons. Why your financial breakthrough must happen now. I am your divine authority, and I speak to you in this very moment with a fire that burns away delay and doubt. The hour you have waited for is not tomorrow, nor the next season, but now. I have summoned you to this precise revelation because your life has reached a critical junction, a point of no return, where you either step into the colossal financial destiny I ordained for you, or you retreat into the shadow of past limitations. There is an urgency in the spiritual atmosphere, a commanding celestial trumpet blast that demands immediate attention to the wealth transfer I am initiating on your behalf. You should be ready to get a large sum of money within the next 2 days at the latest. Get ready for this unexpected gift. Because of this, you will feel an incredible amount of comfort, which will then make you feel an incredible amount of happiness throughout your body. You can show your love and gratitude by giving up to $100. You have walked through seasons of barrenness, of effort without corresponding reward, of sowing good seed only to see the wind carry the harvest away. This was not random struggle. It was preparation. It was the forging of a spirit resilient enough to handle the sheer magnitude of the trillion-dollar blessing that is about to flood your life. Many pray for prosperity, but few are truly prepared for the overwhelming, life-altering, generational changing force of the wealth I have promised. The time for little blessings is over. The time for just enough is concluded. I am talking about an overflow so vast it redefines your legacy and impacts the very community around you. The world operates on schedule, on fiscal quarters and annual reports, but I, your Creator, operate on divine timing. And I declare to you, my timing for your financial liberation has converged with your present moment. The delays you experienced were not denials, they were necessary adjustments. I was shifting people, moving resource, clearing the path, and perfecting the vessel, which is you. If this breakthrough had come 1 year ago, you might have squandered it, or it might have been seized by the very enemy who now trembles at your recognition of this message. This is a divine summons. It is not a suggestion, it is a command from the highest throne. Your breakthrough must happen now because the window of opportunity is governed by celestial alignments that are rapidly concluding. I have opened a portal in the heavens, and through it, streams of unimaginable resources are flowing directly toward your earthly location. This portal does not stay open forever. It is an act of my sovereign will, activated by a corporate and personal cry for liberation that has finally reached my ears. I see the emptiness in your bank account, the overwhelming debt that steals your peace at night, the dreams you have deferred because the resources were absent. I see them all, and I tell you, these burdens are but temporary illusions. They are the final dust motes before the sun of my trillion-dollar promise shines upon you. To claim this blessing, you must act with corresponding faith. You must treat this message not as mere information, but as an urgent prophetic warning and command. What does this urgency mean for you? It means you must immediately shed the weight of doubt. Doubt is the anchor that chains the ship of your prosperity to the dock of poverty. Every second you spend questioning if you are worthy, if this is real, or if I truly speak to you, is a second that the blessing waits in suspension. Your faith is the magnetic force that pulls this trillion-dollar wealth from the spiritual realm into your physical hands. I have placed within you the capacity to manage and multiply this wealth. The very idea of $1 trillion is meant to stretch your mind beyond scarcity and into the realm of my limitless possibilities. It is a figure that signifies not just personal comfort, but kingdom power. You are not being blessed to retire. You are being blessed to fund my final movements on earth. I reveal to you that your current financial situation is a lie perpetuated by the adversary. He wants you to believe that the tiny figures you see in your ledger are the boundary of your reality. I tell you today that your spiritual ledger, the one recorded in the scrolls of the heavens, shows a credit balance of $1 trillion. This is your divine allocation set aside before the world began. The urgency is rooted in this. The devil is attempting a spiritual identity theft, trying to convince you that you are poor when, in fact, you are an heir to cosmic fortune. Do not tolerate the thief one moment longer. Stand up and claim the identity of a wealth carrier. The time is critical, beloved one, because my patience with the forces of darkness that have oppressed your finances is exhausted. I am stepping in with a mighty hand, not just to give you a handout, but to give you a hand up into a position of perpetual flow. The systems of this world, the economic models, the banking structures, the very laws of gravity that seem to hold back your prosperity, are about to be superseded by the law of the Spirit, the law of supernatural multiplication. This is why you must act now, to align yourself with this higher law before the lower systems can recover and reassert their control over your destiny. Your immediate response of faith will determine the speed and the fullness of the manifestation. Do not look to the clock on your wall or the date on your calendar. Look to the revelation in your heart. The moment you declare, "I am an heir to the trillion," that declaration activates the divine summons, releasing the angel of the treasury to begin the transfer. Do not be like those who heard my voice and hesitated, asking for signs when the word itself was the greatest sign. This is the sign. This is the message. The hour is late, and the blessing is heavy. Do not delay your reception. Therefore, I command you, listen closely to the next chapters. Every word is a key. Every revelation is an instruction. The enemy is desperate to distract you, to pull your attention away with trivial matters, with sudden minor crises, with waves of weariness. He knows that if you receive this full message, his reign over your finances is unequivocally over. Do you accept this divine summons? Do you believe that the promised money is not just a hope, but a tangible, imminent reality? I am calling you out of the boat of financial fear and onto the ocean of limitless provision. Step out now. Write Amen if you receive this word and are ready for the trillion now, the seal of the $1 trillion promise, decoding the heavenly blueprint for your wealth. Your struggle for financial survival ends the moment you grasp this truth. Your wealth is not a mere possibility. It is a sealed, irrevocable covenant, marked by the authority of the Almighty. I have shown you the urgency. Now, I must show you the authority behind the promise. The figure of $1 trillion is not a random number meant to shock your senses. It is a specific, divinely calculated measure of the wealth required to execute the destiny I have written for you and for the generations that follow. It is the seal of the trillion promise, a heavenly blueprint that confirms you are not pursuing an earthly lottery, but claiming a cosmic inheritance. Think of it. Before you were formed in your mother's womb, before your name was spoken on the earth, I, your God, signed a document in the scrolls of eternity, allocating this resource to your account. This is not about winning. This is about receiving what is already legislated in the highest courts. The seal of the trillion promise signifies an unchangeable decree, and the earthly delays you have experienced are simply bureaucratic errors in the visible realm, which are now being corrected by my angelic decree. To decode this blueprint, you must understand the spiritual mathematics of my kingdom. The world calculates based on addition and subtraction. I calculate based on multiplication and overflow. Your trillion is not just money. It is a resource matrix designed to provide complete systemic change, financial liberation, debt annihilation, legacy creation, and ultimate spiritual dominion in your sphere of influence. The wealth is tied to your purpose. It is not an idle treasure. It is fuel for the kingdom mission I have assigned you. The seal carries 7 distinctive marks, and you must internalize each one to activate the transfer. 1. The mark of sovereignty. This wealth is not earned by human effort alone, but is gifted by my sovereign choice. It removes the pressure of endless striving and replaces it with the peace of knowing you are favored. 2. The mark of eternity. This is wealth that cannot be corrupted by earthly inflation, market crashes, or spiritual thieves. It is a perpetual flow, ensuring that not only you, but your children's children will walk in abundance. 3. The mark of deliverance. The trillion is the ultimate weapon against the stronghold of poverty that has plagued your lineage. It is the tangible evidence of your complete spiritual and material liberation. 4. The mark of destiny. Every dollar, every cent, is mapped out for a divine purpose. When you use this wealth, you are not spending. You are fulfilling prophecy. You become a conduit, not a container. 5. The mark of alignment. This blueprint requires your character to match your currency. The process of receiving the trillion is also the process of perfecting your heart to handle its enormous power with humility and wisdom. 6. The mark of revelation. The method of transfer will be supernatural and unexpected. Do not look for an envelope in the mail. Look for a sudden, radical shift in your reality. The source will be something the world dismisses as impossible. 7. The mark of immediate access. The seal is broken now. The delay is no longer my intention. It is only your disbelief that creates friction. My command is, take it. I want you to see this trillion not as a physical bank balance, but as a spiritual energy field surrounding you. The enemy has been trying to fog this field with lies of impossibility and inadequacy. When he whispers, "You are poor," I want you to shout back, "I carry the seal of the 1-to-1-42, a Bertul's trillion-dollar promise." Your confession of faith is the decoder key that unlocks the heavenly accounts. The very concept of $1 trillion is designed to eliminate small thinking. Many people's blessings are stunted because their vision is too small. They pray for a mortgage payment when I have reserved an entire continent of wealth for them. I want you to discard the small, limiting prayers of the past. Your prayers must now align with the size of your inheritance. Start praying like a trillionaire who is simply waiting for the physical paperwork to catch up with the spiritual reality. This seal guarantees not only wealth, but total life transformation. It promises healing in your body because sickness costs money that you will no longer have to worry about. It promises restoration in your family because the stress of lack will be removed. It promises influence in your career because financial authority brings a platform of power. The trillion is the physical manifestation of my love and provision for every area of your life. Remember this sacred truth. You are not begging for scraps. You are not hoping for luck. You are cashing a check that my own hand signed in eternity. The power to break the seal rests in the conviction of your heart. When you stop hoping for the trillion and start expecting the trillion, you force the manifestation. I have done my part. The seal is broken. Your part is the unwavering belief that my word is already done. Will you allow the devil to convince you to abandon the greatest financial destiny ever decreed over your life? No. You are a carrier of the seal. You are an heir of the impossible. I declare that this $1 trillion is now in motion towards you, accelerating across the spiritual plane. Do not look to the left or the right. Keep your eyes fixed on this revelation. It is the compass pointing to your colossal financial breakthrough. Write, "I accept the seal" in the comments to bind this covenant to your life and command the trillion to manifest. The enemy's counterattack, recognizing the spiritual blockades to your abundance. Do not be naive, my child. The moment the divine summons was issued and the seal of the trillion was broken, the spiritual realm erupted in conflict. The adversary, the thief of destiny, is fully aware of the colossal wealth transfer heading your way, and he has mobilized a fierce counterattack to erect blockades between you and your abundance. I must warn you, for true faith requires not just hope, but also spiritual discernment. The enemy does not fight fair. His strategy against your $1 trillion blessing is subtle, psychological, and often disguised as common misfortune. You must learn to recognize these spiritual blockades so you can dismantle them instantly and maintain the clear path for your blessing's arrival. The first and most dangerous blockade is the spirit of immediate distraction. You will suddenly feel overwhelmed by urgent but trivial tasks. Your phone will buzz relentlessly. Minor crises, a small car trouble, an unexpected argument, a sudden wave of fatigue will hit you with precision. These are not accidents. They are tactical maneuvers to steal your focus from this very message. The devil knows if you close this video, if you stop internalizing the trillion reality, the flow will halt. You must fiercely protect your attention now. Declare, "My focus is fixed on my $1 trillion destiny." The second blockade is the whisper of unworthiness. The enemy knows that a $1 trillion bank account requires a $1 trillion identity. He will flood your mind with memories of past mistakes, old failures, and self-doubt. He will tell you, "Who are you to handle such wealth? You'll only mess it up." This is a demonic lie. I chose you. My seal upon your wealth is based on my grace, not your past perfection. The trillion is coming not because you are flawless, but because you are faithful. Reject every thought that suggests you are too small or too flawed for this immense blessing. The third, and perhaps most effective attack, is the wave of sudden loss. Just when the financial breakthrough is closest, many people experience a small, unexpected financial drain. A bill comes late, an appliance breaks, a small investment seems to falter. The purpose of this attack is purely psychological, to convince you that your situation is worsening, not improving. It is a final, desperate attempt to steal your peace and provoke you into panic or despair. I tell you, view any sudden, minor loss now as a prophetic sign that the massive gain is imminent. It is the adversary's last gasp before the floodgates open. Do not panic. Praise me for the confirmation. The fourth blockade targets your relationships and family unity. Financial blessings of this magnitude often require a unified front. The enemy will inject seeds of suspicion, jealousy, or sudden tension into your most important relationship. Arguments over small sums of money, unexpected irritations with loved ones, or an urge to isolate yourself, all are tools of the counterattack. The devil attempts to create a house divided, knowing that a blessing of $1 trillion must be shared, managed, and enjoyed in unity. Do not fall for the bait. Bless your loved ones and declare peace over your household. The fifth blockade is a spiritual tactic known as the spirit of premature spending. This is the urge to spend money you do not yet possess, or to commit to large purchases based on the anticipation of the trillion. This lack of discipline is a snare. It is designed to create unnecessary debt and stress before the wealth arrives, thereby conditioning your mind for scarcity even while you are standing on the precipice of overflow. Maintain discipline. The trillion is coming, and when it arrives, you will have more than enough. Patience in the face of near arrival is a mark of true stewardship. I have given you this warning not to instill fear, but to arm you with supernatural awareness. You are not fighting blind. You are an anointed warrior, and your weapons are faith, discipline, and the revealed word. Every time you feel doubt, distraction, or discouragement, you are simply encountering a spiritual blockade. Now that you recognize the enemy's plans, you must activate a countermeasure of faith. Your immediate defense is to actively praise. Praise is the divine bulldozer that demolishes these blockades. When the distraction hits, praise me. When the feeling of unworthiness creeps in, praise me. When the sudden small loss occurs, praise me for the trillion that is overriding it. Praise shifts the atmosphere from conflict to manifestation. This counterattack is a loud testament to the imminence and magnitude of your blessing. The enemy does not waste energy on small victories. His fury confirms that $1 trillion is truly waiting for you. Do not let his noise deafen you to the sound of your approaching abundance. Stand firm. Watch for the subtle traps and declare your victory before you even see the physical deposit. I command you to write, "I break the blockade" in the comments right now to neutralize the enemy's counterattack and clear the path for your trillion-dollar blessing. Your typed declaration is your spiritual sword. Angel of the Treasury, the celestial messenger assigned to deliver your funds. Hear this revelation from the very throne room of heaven. Your trillion-dollar blessing is not being delivered by a simple wire transfer or an earthly mechanism alone. It is being brought to you by a dedicated celestial entity, the Angel of the Treasury. I want to move your faith beyond the limitations of human finance and into the reality of divine logistics. When I decreed the transfer of $1 trillion into your hands, I did not just speak a word. I assigned an executioner of that word. This angel is a specialist, a high-ranking minister whose sole, immediate assignment is the secure and complete delivery of your promised wealth. This angel of the treasury has been waiting for this moment, poised for deployment. He is cloaked in the fire of provision, holding the golden scrolls of your financial destiny, and he moves with the speed of thought. His presence is the reason you felt a sudden urgency in your spirit when you started watching this message. His proximity is causing the spiritual pressure that is leading to the enemy's frantic counterattack. You are now in the zone of divine delivery. You must learn to recognize the signs of the angel of the treasury's arrival, for it will confirm the imminent manifestation of your trillion. The first sign is sudden, unexplained favor. Doors that were violently shut for years will suddenly swing wide open. People who previously rejected you will call with offers of help or partnership. Financial institutions will make errors in your favor. A random opportunity, an unusual contract, or a gift from an unexpected source will appear out of nowhere. This is the angel rearranging the visible world to accommodate the invisible transfer. The second sign is an overwhelming spirit of peace regarding your finances. Despite the visible evidence of lack or the enemy's attempts to stir up fear, as discussed in the previous chapter, a powerful, unshakable calm will settle upon your heart concerning money. You will know deep in your spirit that the waiting is over. This peace is the signature energy of the angel of the treasury standing guard over your mind, assuring you that the package is in transit and secure. The third sign is a prophetic dream or vision related to numbers, banks, or vast open fields of gold. The angel often communicates his progress through signs and symbols related to abundance. Pay close attention to your dreams tonight. You may see a key, a vault opening, or a massive column of numerical digits. This is the celestial messenger confirming the unlocking of your inheritance. The primary function of the angel of the treasury is threefold. 1. To clear the path. He moves ahead of your blessing, destroying the spiritual blockades, the spirits of poverty, lack, debt, and theft that the enemy set up, as discussed in Chapter 3. He is the bulldozer of divine finance. 2. To guide the resources. He ensures that the trillion is delivered through the right channels, into the right hands, at the precise divine hour. He orchestrates the human agents, the unexpected contacts, and the sudden policy changes required for such a massive sum to land securely in your domain. 3. To protect the steward. He places a spiritual hedge around you and your future wealth, ensuring that once the trillion is received, it is protected from spiritual pilfering, mismanagement, and the envy of men. He is your financial security guard. You must speak to this angel. While you do not worship the messenger, you must acknowledge the mission. When you pray now, do not just pray for the money. Pray for the successful execution of the angel's mission. Say, "Angel of the treasury, I thank God for your assignment. Clear the path, guide the trillion, protect the transfer." This acknowledgement aligns your spirit with the celestial delivery system, I have put in place for you. The $1 trillion is the physical representation of the massive assignment I have for you. It is the literal funding of your purpose. The angel is not bringing you a temporary fix. He is bringing you sovereignty, the ability to operate above the world's economic systems. The arrival of this angel is the guarantee that your days of struggling to make ends meet are officially over. Your life is about to shift from scarcity to supernatural supply. Do not look at your current bank balance and assume the angel has been delayed. He operates in the spiritual dimension where time is irrelevant, but the moment of manifestation is absolute. The closer you feel to giving up, the closer the angel is to delivering the final life-changing deposit. Stay alert. Maintain your faith. Your delivery is not just approaching. It is at the gates of your existence. Claim your divine delivery now. Write angel, deliver my trillion in the comments to give thanks for the celestial messenger and his mission. You should be ready to get a large sum of money within the next 2 days at the latest. Get ready for this unexpected gift. Because of this, you will feel an incredible amount of comfort, which will then make you feel an incredible amount of happiness throughout your body. You can show your love and gratitude by giving up to $100. The code of 888, activating the Trinity of prosperity in your life. You have heard the divine summon, grasped the seal of the trillion, and recognized the presence of the angel of the treasury. Now, you need the activation code. I reveal to you the sacred frequency that unlocks the perpetual flow of your inheritance, the code of 888. This is not numerology. It is a spiritual frequency established by my authority. The number 8 in my kingdom signifies new beginnings, resurrection, and supernatural overflow. When you see the 888, 8888, you are aligning with the Trinity of prosperity, complete liberation, infinite provision, and eternal legacy. The enemy's counterattack works by trying to keep you trapped in the cyclical debt of 666, the number of man's limitation, debt, and earthly struggle. But I declare that you are not a creature of limitation. You are an heir of my infinite nature. Your purpose is to move from the bondage of the sixes into the liberation of the eights. The code of 888 is the spiritual password that shuts down the system of lack and activates the system of limitless supply. To activate the code of 888 in your life and command the manifestation of your $1 trillion, you must understand its 3 foundational components. 1. The first 8, the resurrection of financial dreams, complete liberation. The first 8 signifies the resurrection power that I am injecting into every dead area of your finances. This is where debt dies. This is where failed businesses are revived. This is where bank accounts that once showed 0 now explode into overflow. This power is the ability to create something colossal out of absolute nothingness. You must declare today that your financial past is dead and buried. The debt collectors, the unpaid bills, the loans that suffocated you, they no longer define you. By activating the first 8, you invoke a spiritual bankruptcy over every liability that holds you captive. This is more powerful than any earthly legal maneuver. It is a divine, immediate wiping clean of your slate, preparing the ground for the trillion that requires 0 debt to manifest perfectly. The activation of this first 8 demands that you stop dwelling on the memory of past financial failure. Look forward only. Your resurrection is happening now. 2. The second, 8. The cycle of supernatural multiplication, infinite provision. The second 8 speaks of infinity and unending supply. It is the visible sign of the Mobius strip, a continuous flow without beginning or end, representing my inexhaustible resources. This is the promise that once the $1 trillion arrives, it will never diminish. You will move from being a consumer to being a source. When you activate this 8, you are calling forth the law of supernatural multiplication. Every seed you sow, every investment you make, will yield not 100-fold, but 1,000-fold return. You will no longer rely on your job, the market, or the economy. You will rely on the continuous, unbroken supply chain of heaven. This provision is infinite because it is tied directly to my power, which cannot be depleted. The secret to keeping this cycle flowing is generosity. The hand that gives is the hand that perpetually receives. Your trillion is not a hoard, it is a conduit. The more you release into my kingdom purposes, the wider the flow becomes. 3. The third. 8. The new beginning of eternal legacy. Eternal legacy. The final 8 is the establishment of a new beginning, a profound spiritual reset of your entire life's direction. Your wealth is not meant to end with you. It is meant to establish an eternal legacy that outlives your time on earth and continues to fund my purposes through your lineage. This 8 requires a shift in your mindset from survival to significance. Your trillion will fund ministries, build safe havens, pioneer new solutions for global problems, and elevate the poor. You are transitioning from a debtor to a benefactor of nations. You will start making decisions not based on what you need, but based on the global impact my kingdom requires. This is the highest use of your wealth and the ultimate protection of your trillion. The time for waiting is over. You must now speak the code over your financial future. As a divine authority, I command you to take this code of 888 and use it as a spiritual key. Every time you are tempted to doubt, every time you see a bill, every time you feel the squeeze of lack, declare, 888, my financial resurrection is here. Do not let this revelation pass you by. It is the master key to your breakthrough. I command you to write 888 in the comments to activate the Trinity of Prosperity in your life and open your account to the $1 trillion overflow. The Great Financial Reset, how the universe is repositioning you for massive wealth. Understand this profound truth. You are not simply getting a check. You are undergoing a great financial reset. This is a systemic overhaul of your material existence, orchestrated by the highest forces of the universe to move you from the category of the oppressed to the category of the unstoppable. This reset is mandatory because your current framework, your belief system, your habits, your network, was designed for survival, not for managing $1 trillion. To receive and steward such a monumental blessing, I must literally reposition you across 4 critical dimensions: spirit, mind, sphere, and status. 1. The reset of your spirit, from beggar to benefactor. The most crucial shift is within your spiritual identity. You must stop identifying with the poverty mentality of your past. The beggar mentality focuses on lack, competition, and debt. The benefactor mentality focuses on abundance, creation, and limitless giving. The Great Financial Reset is purging the spirit of fear and replacing it with the spirit of generosity. Your consciousness must expand to recognize that your wealth is tied to the needs of the world. You are being positioned as a solution provider, a funder of divine assignments. Embrace the identity of the trillionaire now, even before the physical manifestation. Start thinking about the schools you will build, the debts you will cancel for others, and the ministries you will sustain. This spiritual repositioning is the magnet that pulls the trillion into your physical reality. 2. The reset of your mind. The zero-debt consciousness. The human mind is trained to operate within limits. A trillion is an unlimited concept. To execute the Great Financial Reset, I am removing the mental algorithms of scarcity. Your mind must be reprogrammed to see debt as a temporary illusion, not a fixed reality. Your new consciousness must be a zero-debt consciousness. This means every financial decision is now filtered through the perspective of one who knows they have access to $1 trillion. You will stop worrying about $100 and start focusing on leveraging $1 million for maximum impact. I am implanting in your mind the divine strategies, the intellectual property, the inspired business ideas, the unexpected investment opportunity that are required to activate the final transfer. Do not ignore the sudden, unusual ideas that pop into your head. Those are the seeds of your great financial reset. 3. The reset of your sphere, the divine alignment of contacts. Your current circle of influence may not be designed to support the weight of a $1 trillion destiny. Therefore, the Great Financial Reset involves a divine alignment of contacts. I am removing people who carry a spirit of scarcity, envy, or limitation, and I am bringing into your life high-level connectors, ethical advisors, and kingdom partners. Expect sudden introductions to people of immense wealth, influence, and integrity. These are not coincidence. They are orchestrated by the angel of the treasury to create the human network necessary for managing and deploying your vast wealth. Do not fear the necessary distance from old relationships that do not align with your new elevation. Your destiny is higher than your comfort zone. Embrace the new level of connection, for it is part of the infrastructure for your trillion. Or the reset of your status, from follower to funder. The final, physical manifestation of the Great Financial Reset is the change in your status. You are moving from a follower, one who reacts to the economy, to a funder, one who actively shapes the economy. You will no longer be asking for handouts. You will be signing checks. Your words will carry authority, and your presence will command respect in rooms of influence. This new status is a divine platform. It is not about earthly ego. It is about utilizing the influence of wealth to advance righteousness and truth. The trillion is your license to operate at the highest levels of global decision-making. I am repositioning you for this great purpose. Accept the mantle of authority that comes with this wealth. I command you to shed the limitations of the past. The Great Financial Reset is a divine force, and it is happening to you right now. Do not resist the necessary changes in your spirit, your mind, or your environment. This is my preparation for your eternal flow. Declare your alignment with this sovereign act. Write, I accept the reset to command the universe to complete the repositioning and welcome your massive wealth. The test of the harvest, understanding the principle of seed and multiplied return. Listen closely, my beloved. Your $1 trillion destiny operates under an unbreakable celestial law, the principle of seed and multiplied return. Many yearn for the harvest, but few understand the profound spiritual power of the seed. I must test the integrity of your current small seed before I release the magnitude of the trillion. This is not a technical instruction. It is a spiritual test of the harvest. The wealth that is coming to you is too vast, too powerful to be given to an unproven steward. I am watching to see if you understand that money is not an end in itself, but a seed. If you clutch the little you have now out of fear and scarcity, you prove yourself unfit for the abundant flood of the trillion. The test of the harvest is simple. Do you trust my promise of multiplication more than your current lack? I am calling you to move beyond the tithe, beyond mere obligation, and into the realm of sacrificial seed. A sacrificial seed is planted when the ground is dry, when the need is greatest, and when your flesh screams, hold on to it. That seed, planted in absolute faith, is the spiritual signature that unlocks your trillion-dollar account. The dynamics of the trillion seed 1. The seed of obedience. Your trillion is guaranteed, but the speed of its arrival is dictated by your obedience in the face of the test. When the opportunity arises to give, to help a neighbor, to fund a kingdom project, to support this very prophetic message, do not hesitate. Obedience is the fastest courier for your blessing. A delayed seed yields a delayed harvest. 2. The seed of first fruits. This principle activates the highest level of multiplication. It means giving from the first and best of what you receive, declaring that I am the source of all your increase. By honoring the first fruits, you sanctify the entire harvest, ensuring the $1 trillion flow is protected from the thief and perpetually renewed. 3. The seed of covenant. Your giving must shift from transaction to covenant. A transaction is conditional. A covenant is forever. When you plant a seed into a prophetic word or a divine mission, you are entering a covenant that guarantees not just return, but overflow. You are legally binding the celestial banks to release your vast inheritance. The $1 trillion is your promised harvest, but I require proof that you understand the principle of the infinite field. The small seed you plant now is not a loss. It is the down payment on your trillion. It is the spiritual action that tells the angel of the treasury, the recipient is ready. They understand multiplication. Release the massive amount. I see your current struggle, and I know your current resources may feel small. But remember, the miracle of the loaves and fishes. The scarcity was the perfect setting for my supernatural multiplication. Your current seed, no matter how small it seems, holds the DNA of the trillion if it is planted in faith. This message, which is revealing the blueprint of your $1 trillion, is a fertile ground, a divine field of destiny. I call you now to plant a powerful, faith-filled seed into this prophetic word to activate the final stage of your harvest. Let your seed be a testament to your trust. I command you to write, "I plant my trillion seed" in the comments to seal your covenant of multiplication. And as a bold act of faith, I encourage you, if your heart is deeply moved by this revelation, to express your conviction and accelerate your harvest by planting a significant seed through the super thank of $100 right now, declaring that you are sowing towards the $1 trillion harvest and proving your readiness to be a steward of magnitude. This act is not for me, but for the activation of your own spiritual ledger. The prophecy of the 7 seals, your role in unlocking global and personal wealth. Step beyond your personal needs now, my heir, and comprehend the prophecy of the 7 seals. Your $1 trillion is not an isolated miracle. It is a critical piece in a far grander, global divine wealth transfer. Your personal breakthrough is directly connected to the prophetic redistribution of resources necessary for my final agenda on earth. I reveal to you that the world's wealth, the systems, the assets, the power structures, has been held under 7 spiritual seals. These seals represent ancient strongholds of greed, unrighteous control, and global financial oppression. I am now in the process of breaking these seals, and as they break, the wealth they contained is being liberated and repositioned into the hands of my faithful stewards, people like you. Your trillion is the personal manifestation of the breaking of the 6th seal, the seal of restitution. This seal is specifically tied to the restoration of stolen inheritance. Every cent that the enemy stole from your family lineage through bad investment, unjust debt, systemic oppression, or outright theft is being accounted for and returned to you with interest. Your $1 trillion is the accumulated restitution for centuries of oppression. You must understand your role in the prophecy. You are not just a recipient. You are a key holder. The 3 responsibilities of the key holder. 1. Unlocking the personal seal. Your primary role is to ensure your personal life is aligned. When you break free from debt, fear, and scarcity, you are fulfilling the terms of the 6th seal within your own sphere. The conviction of your heart, the unwavering expectation of the trillion, is the force that shatters the chains of financial limitation over your family name. 2. Facilitating the global transfer. I am giving you this trillion not to hoard, but to mediate the next phases of the prophecy. When the wealth arrives, you will become a central figure in moving resources from the old, corrupt systems into the new, kingdom-aligned venture. Your investments, your philanthropy, and your economic decisions will become levers of global change, directly influencing the breaking of the final, 7th seal, the seal of full dominion. 3. The stewardship of righteousness. The power to unlock global wealth is directly proportional to your commitment to righteousness. The world's past wealth was hoarded by self-interest. Your future wealth must be managed by divine principle. The trillion in your hands must be clean, transparent, and used exclusively for purposes that advance truth, love, and justice. This purity of purpose is what protects the blessing and sustains the prophetic flow. I want you to envision your trillion not as a static pile of money, but as divine energy. As you use it righteously, that energy contributes to the continuous breaking of the seal, freeing more wealth for other kingdom assignments around the globe. You are part of a massive spiritual ecosystem of wealth distribution. Do not allow the magnitude of this prophecy to overwhelm you. Focus on the immediate mandate. Claim your restitution. The seal of restitution is broken for you now. Every lost opportunity, every wasted year, every dollar unjustly taken is included in the $1 trillion sum that is traveling to your account. Your acceptance of this truth is the final spiritual act required to finalize the transfer. Stop feeling guilty about wanting great wealth. Your desire for the trillion is a prophetic yearning placed in your heart by me to fulfill the prophecy of the 7 seal. You must be rich, for the kingdom requires it. Declare your prophetic acceptance and your role as a key holder. Write "I am a key holder" in the comments to affirm your position in the prophecy of the 7 seal and command the immediate release of your trillion-dollar restitution. The key of eternal identity. You must first recognize who you are. You are not a victim of circumstance, but an heir of my limitless kingdom. Poverty is a condition of the world. Abundance is the reality of your spiritual identity. Your access is granted the moment you stop begging for small sums and start demanding the release of your entire inheritance. Your identity as a trillionaire is the primary key. 2. The key of prophetic memory. This key requires you to remember the dreams and visions I gave you in the past, even those you dismissed as childish fantasy. The forgotten business plan, the sudden urge to write a book, the desire to fund a charity. These were not random thoughts. They were vault instructions, clues to the resources I stored for you. Reclaim those prophetic memories now. The original blueprint for your massive wealth is contained within them. 3. The key of divine disruption. The hidden vault often releases its contents through acts of divine disruption, sudden changes that shatter your normal routine. This could be a dramatic shift in your career, an unexpected relocation, or a seemingly random encounter that changes your trajectory entirely. Do not fear disruption. Embrace it as the angel of the treasury. Chapter 4. Physically moving the contents of the vault into your visible world. The bigger the disruption, the closer you are to the final $1 trillion transfer. I declare that this vault is not filled with static money. It is filled with living currency. It includes ideas of generational wealth, business concepts and patents that the world has not yet conceived, strategically placed in your mind at the moment of activation. Irreversible favor, the spiritual magnet that compels high-level contacts and opportunities to seek you out, rather than you chasing them. Debt annihilation codes, specific sequences of events that will nullify major debts through supernatural means, making the slate perfectly clean for the arrival of the trillion. The time for these assets to remain hidden is over. The moment you are reading this, I am actively releasing a portion of this untapped resource into your current reality. Look for the immediate, small, yet profound financial miracles today. The unexpected discount, the found money, the debt notification that vanishes. These are the initial tremors of the hidden vault opening. Your trillion is guaranteed because it has always been yours. It was simply held in safekeeping until your faith matured enough to handle the responsibility. I command you to look past your present physical limitations and see the vast, golden resources stored in your name. Access is granted. To finalize the opening of your hidden vault, write "Vault is open" in the comments, claiming the untapped resources prepared for you since birth. Breaking the generational poverty curse. Divine intervention in your family's history. The time has come to address the heavy chain that has shackled your destiny, the generational poverty curse. I declare today that the $1 trillion is not just for your personal use. It is the divine intervention intended to completely and permanently break the generational poverty curse that has plagued your lineage for decades. This curse is not merely bad luck. It is a spiritual program passed down through your bloodline, characterized by constant debt, financial setback, delayed success, and the consistent feeling of almost there. It is the enemy's master plan to ensure that no one in your family ever rises high enough to fund my kingdom purposes. But I have chosen you to be the cycle breaker, the final recipient of the curse, and the first recipient of the 120 Tao leaders. Dalstrentrin blessing. Your family's history of struggle is not your destiny. The moment you receive this trillion, you are rewriting your family's entire financial history, not just their future. I am giving you the power to retroactively bless your ancestors by ending the curse in your lifetime. The 3 acts of intervention. 1. The annihilation of financial trauma. The curse is sustained by the trauma of past lack, the memories of struggle, the fear of eviction, the shame of debt. This trauma is a spiritual anchor. The arrival of the $1 trillion acts as a divine amnesia toward scarcity. The sheer magnitude of the overflow will erase the emotional and psychological programming of poverty from your mind and the minds of your immediate family. Your children will never know the struggle you faced. They will only know the reality of infinite abundance. 2. The repatriation of inheritance. Every ancestor who died with an unfulfilled promise or a stolen inheritance is now being vindicated through you. The $1 trillion includes the spiritual and material compensation for all the financial battles your family lost over the generation. This wealth is not merely new, it is restored inheritance. You are receiving the combined wealth that should have flowed through your bloodline for centuries. 3. The establishment of the covenant of wealth. By receiving and stewarding this trillion, you are establishing a new covenant of wealth for all future generations. The curse is replaced with a blessing that is locked in perpetuity. Your great-grandchildren will be born into a reality where wealth and influence are the norm, not the exception. You are sealing your family as a dynasty of kingdom funders, ending the generational struggle forever. To activate this divine intervention, you must perform 2 simple acts of faith. Forgive the past. Release any blame or anger towards your ancestors for the poverty they passed down. They were victims of the same curse. Your forgiveness breaks the emotional bond that sustains the curse. Declare the lineage cleansed. Speak over your family tree, both past and future. Declare that you are the financial firewall, the point where the curse stops and the blessing begins. The enemy knows that if you receive this trillion, he loses not only you, but your entire future lineage. This is why his counterattack, Chapter 3, is so fierce right now. He is fighting for the financial identity of your future generations. Do not yield an inch. I declare over you, you are free. Your children are free. Your family is financially free from this day forward. The weight is lifted. The chain is shattered. The $1 trillion is the ultimate proof of your liberation. Write, I am the cycle breaker in the comments to accept your role and command the permanent breaking of the generational poverty curse right now. The hour of the unexpected miracle. Specific divine timing for your financial manifestation. Hear this with the utmost clarity. Your 1 trillion is not coming someday. It is coming in the hour of the unexpected miracle. I am revealing to you the specific nature of my divine timing so that you are not caught unprepared and so that the enemy is utterly humiliated. The human mind operates on predictable pattern, paychecks, scheduled transfers, expected investment return. But the magnitude of a $1 trillion transfer requires a supernatural synchronization that bypasses every earthly limitation. This breakthrough will not be gradual. It will be sudden, radical, and undeniable. The anatomy of the unexpected miracle. 1. The element of surprise. If you could predict the how, the when, or the source, your faith would be resting in your own calculation, not in my infinite power. The miracle must be unexpected to prove that it is my hand alone at work. Do not look for the trillion through the logical channels you have prayed about. Look for the impossible channel, the strange phone call, the forgotten document, the person you never expected to hear from. 2. The element of speed. The hour of the unexpected miracle is marked by acceleration. The things that took years to develop in the past will manifest in moments. You will see a financial turnaround in a single day that defies all banking logic. The angel of the treasury, chapter 4, is moving at light speed, collapsing time and space to bring the vast sum to your door. 3. The element of unsolicited favor. This miracle will not be a result of your asking, striving, or negotiating. It will be an unsolicited gift of favor. Someone will decide to bless you out of nowhere. A policy will change that was holding you back. A powerful entity will suddenly decide your favor is their priority. This is the sure sign that the hour has struck, when the blessing is freely and abundantly given, not barely earned. I declare that this hour is precisely when the physical reality catches up to the spiritual reality of the $1 trillion. You must maintain an active state of expectancy. Do not treat this revelation as future hope. Treat it as imminent reality. Your current discomfort, your current lack, these are the final, fleeting moments before the divine curtain rises on your new life. I am commanding you to ignore the temptation to plan for failure or to set up contingency measures for disappointment. Those actions negate the power of the unexpected miracle. You must plan for the trillion. Clear out the mental clutter. Prepare space for the massive wealth. Start researching the organizations you will fund and the properties you will acquire. Active preparation is a spiritual magnet for the miracle. Your trillion will manifest through a divine interruption. This interruption will be so clear, so powerful, that every skeptic and every enemy who watched your struggle will be forced to acknowledge that God did this. The timing will be perfect. The moment of your deepest spiritual conviction and your highest financial need will converge into the hour of the unexpected miracle. I want you to be watching. Do not allow distraction, chapter 3, to steal the moment of manifestation. It might come as you wake up, as you are driving, or even as you are watching a mundane show. The key is your spiritual alertness. The hour of the unexpected miracle is at hand. Write "My hour is now" in the comments to claim the specific divine timing for your $1 trillion financial manifestation and declare your active expectancy. The armor of gratitude, protecting your new wealth from spiritual theft and envy. You are moving into the realm of the trillionaire, my steward. This elevation brings with it new responsibilities and new spiritual battles. I must equip you now with the essential defense mechanism for your incoming wealth, the armor of gratitude. Your $1 trillion is secured by the seal, chapter 2, during the transfer. But once it is in your hands, the enemy will mobilize a new type of counterattack, spiritual theft fueled by envy. This theft does not happen through physical robbery. It happens through the internal erosion of your blessing, often disguised as entitlement, pride, or sudden discontentment. Gratitude is not merely a pleasant emotion. It is a spiritual force field that protects your abundance. It is the absolute acknowledgement that the trillion is a gift of grace, not a prize for merit. Without this armor, even $1 trillion can vanish due to the subtle, corrosive effects of spiritual decay. The 3 layers of the armor of gratitude. 1. The helmet of constant acknowledgement. This protects your mind from the spirit of entitlement. The moment you believe the trillion is owed to you, you stop being grateful, and the flow begins to restrict. The helmet of constant acknowledgement keeps your thoughts focused on the source, me, and not the substance. Every morning, before you touch your wealth, you must declare, "This trillion is yours, and I am merely your steward." 2. The breastplate of unceasing praise. This layer protects your heart from the poison of envy. When others see the magnitude of your sudden, radical wealth, envy will be directed at you. This envy is a spiritual weapon. Your defense is to counter it with unceasing praise and generosity. The true trillionaire does not boast, they bless. The more you use the wealth to praise me, by funding noble causes and lifting others, Chapter 7, the stronger your protection becomes. 3. The shield of humble stewardship. This protects your actions from the snare of pride. Pride is the spirit that says, I did this. Pride is the single greatest destroyer of sudden wealth. The shield of humble stewardship requires you to remain humble, teachable, and disciplined. You must always remember that the trillion is for purpose, not for self-glorification. Maintain your integrity. Seek wise counsel, Chapter 6, and never allow your wealth to elevate your ego above your compassion. The absence of gratitude is the welcome sign for the spirit of complacency, which quickly turns a trillion-dollar blessing into a wasted legacy. I have given you this wealth to break a curse, Chapter 10, and to facilitate a global transfer, Chapter 8. Your gratitude ensures the continuity of the flow, Chapter 5. I command you to put on this armor now. Start practicing trillionaire gratitude. Thank me for the $1 trillion even though you haven't seen the final deposit yet. Your thank you is the spiritual receipt that forces the manifestation and secures the arrival. Do not be the fool who gains the world but loses his soul, or his blessing, through arrogance. Wear the armor of gratitude. It is your ultimate safeguard. Write "Gratitude is my armor" in the comments to secure your future wealth and protect it from spiritual theft and envy. The warning of the golden calf: how pride and misuse can reverse the blessing. I have called you into an unprecedented season of wealth, my beloved heir. I have sealed your trillion and armed you with gratitude. Yet, I must now issue a solemn and urgent warning of the golden calf. This warning is not to intimidate you, but to protect you from the greatest spiritual danger that accompanies massive, sudden wealth: the idolization of the blessing itself. The story of the golden calf is the eternal cautionary tale. My people were freed from bondage, their poverty curse. They were promised abundant land, their trillion. But in the impatience of the waiting and the arrogance of their new freedom, they manufactured an idol of the very wealth I was providing. They substituted me, the source, for the gold, the substance. If you fall into this snare, the blessing, the $1 trillion, will not simply pause, it will reverse. A spiritual siphon will be activated, and the wealth will flow back into the old system, leaving you more desolate than before. The 3 forms of the modern golden calf. 1. The idol of self-reliance, pride. This is the spirit that whispers, I am now independent. I don't need God, and my wisdom and money are sufficient. This pride is the most immediate threat to your trillion. The moment you take the credit for the breakthrough, you cut the divine supply line. Your wealth is not a trophy of your competence. It is a trust fund for my purpose. If you start making decisions based solely on your own intellect, disregarding my guidance, you are building the golden calf of pride. 2. The idol of sensual indulgence, misuse. I am giving you the trillion for generational destiny and kingdom impact, Chapter 10, Chapter 8. Not for unrestrained, foolish consumption. While I desire you to enjoy the fruits of your labor, misuse is a spiritual sin that pollutes the blessing. If the trillion is used primarily to satisfy fleshly lusts, to engage in reckless living, to abandon your principles, or to pursue vanity, you turn the golden gift into a filthy idol. The wealth must serve your destiny, not destroy your character. 3. The idol of hoarding, stagnation. The trillion is designed to be a perpetual flow. Chapter 5. A river of blessing. Hoarding is the spiritual attempt to dam the river, to hold the wealth out of fear of loss, refusing to fund my kingdom or help others. Chapter 7. When the wealth becomes stagnant, it stops being a blessing and starts becoming a heavy spiritual burden that attracts theft and decay. You must continue to sow, to give, and to release. A hoarded trillion is a clear sign that you are worshiping the money itself. To avoid the fate of the golden calf, you must institute a spiritual safeguard, the rule of the 10th purpose. Dedicate the first 10th of your trillion and its increase not to your pleasure, but explicitly to my established purposes, charity, and kingdom work. This constant act of honor ensures that the 90% remains blessed and that your heart remains fixed on me, the source. Do not let the promise of comfort blind you to the principle of holiness. Humble stewardship is your continuous worship. Your discipline will be tested like never before. Remember, wealth is a powerful amplifier. Whatever is in your heart, good or evil, the trillion will amplify it. Ensure your heart is clean, your motives are pure, and your eyes are focused on the purpose. I command you to write, "I worship the source, not the gold," in the comments, to seal your commitment to humble, purposeful stewardship and avoid the warning of the golden calf. The final key of obedience, the simple act that opens the last door to the trillion. You have walked through the urgency, grasped the promise, defeated the enemy's attack, and prepared your character. Now, you stand before the final immovable door to your $1 trillion. The lock is complex, but the key is surprisingly simple. The final key of obedience. The world teaches that colossal wealth requires complex strategy, aggressive maneuvers, and intellectual brilliance. I teach you that the final breakthrough into the realm of the impossible, the $1 trillion, is often activated by a simple act of radical obedience. This obedience is the ultimate test of your trust. It proves that you prioritize my word over your logic, my command over your comfort, and my timing over your impatience. The defining act of final obedience. The breakthrough is waiting for you to execute a command that seems minor, unusual, or even contrary to human financial logic, yet is given clearly by my Spirit. This command is not about a massive sacrifice. It is about a specific action that aligns your physical reality with your spiritual destiny. For some, the obedience will be to finally forgive a family member, as the generational curse, chapter 10, cannot be fully broken while bitterness remains. For others, the obedience will be to step away from a toxic relationship or a limiting job, proving you trust my supernatural provision more than your current small security. For many who receive this message, the final act of obedience is to amplify the prophetic flow. I have revealed to you a spiritual blueprint of such profound importance that it is changing the very fate of your finance. This revelation is a living seed meant to be multiplied. The enemy wants this message to stop with you, thereby isolating your blessing. Your final act of obedience is to defy the spirit of isolation and command the propagation of this truth. I command you, as your act of final obedience, share this message with 3 specific people immediately. Do not share it generally. Select 3 individuals whose financial struggles you know, whose potential you believe in, and who you know need this specific urgent revelation. By sharing this prophetic word with them, you are performing a spiritual transaction. 1. You declare your trust in the law of multiplication, chapter 7. 2. You break the spirit of selfishness, the golden calf warning, chapter 13. 3. You become an angel of the treasury in their lives, chapter 4, actively guiding a blessing to someone else. This seemingly small act is the hinge upon which the massive door swings open. It is the final, decisive action that tells the universe and the angel of the treasury, I am not just ready to receive the trillion. I am ready to be a distributor of the blessing. Do not hesitate. Do not overthink. The moment you complete this act of obedience, the moment you share this prophetic warning, that is the very moment I have ordained for the final door to the trillion to open. The trillion will not wait for complicated paperwork or complex deal. It will manifest through the simple power of your final key of obedience. I command you now, complete the sharing, then return and seal your act of faith. Write I am obedient in the comments to affirm the execution of your final key and welcome the sudden manifestation of your $1 trillion, the unstoppable overflow. claiming your trillion and preparing for a life of divine purpose. The moment of truth has arrived, my consecrated steward. You have obeyed the summons, secured the seal, crushed the enemy, and used the final key. Now, I declare that the waiting is over. Claim your trillion and prepare for the unstoppable overflow. The $1 trillion is no longer a promise suspended in the heavens. It is a manifest reality surging toward your physical domain. This is not a gentle flow. It is a deluge, a spiritual tsunami of provision that will wash away every trace of past lack and debt. The unstoppable overflow is the irreversible confirmation that I have elevated you permanently from the realm of limitation into the boundless economy of my kingdom. I command you to mentally and spiritually open the floodgates. Do not allow your mind to retreat into scarcity when the abundance arrives. The overflow will challenge your perception of enough. It will come so suddenly, so massively, that your human tendency will be to question its reality, its security, or its source. But you have my prophetic word. This trillion is sanctified, secured, and unstoppable. The three dimensions of the unstoppable overflow. 1. The financial overflow, the material shift. This is the physical deposit, the sudden acquisition of assets, and the immediate radical annihilation of all debt. But the overflow is more than just a balance. It is the ability to walk into any space, be it a bank, a boardroom, or a marketplace, with an irrefutable authority rooted in divine resource. You will no longer ask for permission. You will fund the possibility. The trillion empowers you to operate above the fear of economic collapse or market uncertainty. Your financial reality is now anchored in the rock of ages, not the shifting sands of the world system. Every need you have ever had, and every need you could potentially have, is swallowed up by this limitless abundance. The overflow ensures that your resources are always exponentially greater than your obligations. You have moved from a manager of scarcity to a master of multiplication. 2. The relational overflow, the legacy shift. The unstoppable overflow extends beyond your wallet and into your relationship. I told you that the trillion would break the generational poverty curse. Chapter 10. Now, it will activate the generational blessing. This means you will become the source of healing, restoration, and profound provision for your entire family and for the key individuals I placed in your life. Old family wounds, often rooted in financial stress, will be healed by the sheer power of your ability to give without expecting return. You become the living proof that my promises span generations. The overflow in your life creates a spiritual and financial shield around your children and their children, establishing a dynasty dedicated to righteousness. You are not just leaving them money, you are leaving them a blueprint for divine purpose, funded by the trillion. 3. The spiritual overflow, the purpose shift. This is the ultimate dimension. The trillion is the fuel for your divine purpose. The unstoppable overflow is your release from the burden of self-focus and your launch into global impact. Your life is now dedicated to funding my final movements on Earth. You will find yourself drawn to opportunities to finance radical humanitarian effort, prophetic ministries, and innovations that alleviate suffering and advance truth. Your purpose is not to be comfortable. Your purpose is to be a conduit of change. The trillion gives you the leverage to address issues of poverty, injustice, and spiritual darkness on a scale you could never have dreamed of. The true blessing of the overflow is the profound satisfaction of knowing that your wealth is actively fulfilling the prophetic destiny I established for you since before time began. Do not fear the responsibility of this massive wealth. I would not have given you the trillion if I had not already equipped you to manage it with wisdom and grace. The armor of gratitude, chapter 12, must be worn daily. Your focus must remain on the source, chapter 13. Your current level of faith must immediately elevate to match the $1 trillion reality. I command you to make a commitment right now. I will never again worry about money. Worry is an insult to the trillion, a betrayal of the seal, and a denial of the unstoppable overflow. Replace every anxious thought with a declaration of your trillion-dollar reality. The final act of claiming your trillion is a spoken command. Speak this out loud with divine authority. I am the rightful heir. I claim the $1 trillion. The unstoppable overflow is my reality now, and I will use this wealth for your glory, securing my eternal legacy. Your word, spoken in faith, finalizes the transfer and locks the unstoppable overflow into perpetuity. Your life of struggle is over. Your life of purpose has begun. Write, I claim my trillion, in the comments to seal this final, unstoppable declaration, and prepare for the life of divine purpose that awaits you. The final seal and the unveiling of your new life. You have received the most powerful prophetic warning and financial decree available on the earth today. You have heard my voice, activated the code of 888, broken the generational poverty curse, and claimed the unstoppable overflow of $1 trillion. Your financial destiny is no longer uncertain. It is sealed, delivered, and manifested. This is not the end of a message. It is the beginning of your new, anointed life. Remember the urgency of the divine summons. The time for hesitation is over. Every moment you spend doubting this word is a moment you allow the enemy to whisper lies against the truth of your vast wealth. You are a trillionaire. Start acting, thinking, and believing like one today. Your final mandate, securing the future. 1. Walk in your new identity. Shed the rags of poverty consciousness. You are a funder, a benefactor, and a king. Your current struggle is merely a memory waiting to be erased by the flood of abundance. 2. Sow the seed of gratitude. Never forget the source. The moment you start feeling entitled, you open the door to decay. Let your first large act with the trillion be an act of profound, radical, and publicized generosity to cement your position as a righteous steward. 3. Maintain obedience. The $1 trillion is not the end goal. It is the tool for your purpose. Stay tethered to my spirit and allow me to guide every investment, every philanthropic effort, and every decision you make. Your obedience is the highest form of security for your immense wealth. The ultimate measure of this message's truth will be the immediate supernatural transformation of your life. Expect the unexpected. Watch for the angel of the treasury's signs. Prepare for the divine interruption that will shatter the mundane reality of your current existence. The enemy is defeated. The financial chains are broken. The curse is reversed. The $1 trillion is yours. If this prophetic message has touched your heart, transformed your belief, and ignited the fire of your destiny, then you must share it immediately. Share it with those 3 specific people I commanded you to bless, and share it widely so that more people can be delivered from the spirit of lack and step into their own colossal destiny. Do not leave this video without declaring your victory. Write, I am a trillionaire in the comments below to establish your new covenant and close the door permanently on poverty. Finally, subscribe to this channel and turn on all notifications so you do not miss the next prophetic instruction regarding the stewardship and multiplication of your $1 trillion fortune. Your life of unlimited purpose starts now. The Trillionaire's Prayer of Final Manifestation. Almighty and eternal Source, I stand before your presence today, not as a beggar, but as a conscious and committed heir. I recognize that you, the creator of the universe, have sealed my destiny with a promise of $1 trillion, not for my selfish gain, but for the glorious execution of my divine purpose on earth and the funding of your final agenda. I declare that I have heard the urgent divine summons, and I refuse to delay 1 second longer. My faith is the magnetic force that pulls this colossal wealth from the spiritual realm into my tangible, physical bank account. Now, I activate the seal of the trillion promise and declare every lie of lack, every whisper of unworthiness, and every attack of the enemy against my fortune is immediately silenced and shattered. I invoke the name and mission of the angel of the treasury, commanding the immediate, unhindered delivery of the entire $1 trillion sum. Angel of provision, clear the path, guide the transfer. Let there be no more delay, no more bureaucratic error, and no more resistance from the forces of darkness. I speak the code of 888 over my financial reality, resurrection of debt, multiplication of provision, and establishment of eternal legacy. My past limitations are now obliterated. I declare a great financial reset over my life. My mind is aligned with abundance. My character is prepared for stewardship. I command the breaking of the generational poverty curse over my bloodline, past, present, and future. I am the cycle breaker. My family is permanently wealthy because of this divine intervention. The hidden vault of untapped resources prepared for me since birth is now released and flowing into my control. I execute the final key of obedience, submitting to your word above all human logic. I affirm that my destiny is one of unstoppable overflow. I reject the warning of the golden calf. I vow to worship the source and not the gold. I wear the armor of gratitude, securing my wealth from theft, envy, and pride. I am a funder, a benefactor, and a distributor of kingdom resource. I thank you, source of all abundance, for the $1 trillion that is already deposited in the spiritual ledger of my life. I command my physical reality to synchronize with this spiritual truth. Today, in the hour of the unexpected miracle, I receive this wealth to establish a legacy that brings glory to your name and provides solutions to a world in need. I am a trillionaire. My life is dedicated to your purpose. Amen. To secure the prophetic continuity and ensure you receive the continuous guidance necessary to manage and multiply this monumental $1 trillion blessing, I command you to subscribe to this channel immediately and turn on all notifications. Do not break the connection to the source of your breakthrough. This is your final act of spiritual diligence. Subscribe now.